Have you heard the saying, what's worse than training my team members and have them leave is to not train my team members and have them stay? Well, in all of my years of recruiting and training, I've never seen it more relevant than now, particularly with recruiting a sales manager for your team. Hello, happy Tuesday. This is Darren Roberts, Master Trainer at Impact Training Corporation and the Abundance Accelerant. Welcome to the Tuesday Tickle and Tick. Today, 4 tips to confidently manage your sales now. This is not a doomsday message video. However, early 2022, we were hoping that this year was going to be back to freedom and business as we know it, but at the start then there's still some challenges around and still some restrictions going on, of course. And what I'm seeing with business owners is they're doing too much themselves because they're fearful of recruiting other team members. They're fearful of recruiting a new sales manager and recruiting generally because they're thinking, gee, I don't want to recruit another team member or sales manager if we don't have full capacity to serve our customers. Or I don't want to recruit a sales manager if we have to go into another lockdown. Or I don't want to recruit a sales manager if we have to stand them down for a short period of time. I don't want to go through that again, so I'm just going to do it all myself. And by the way, there's awesome staff members and sales managers that want to get out of what they're doing currently, want to join your team, that are also scared. They go, I don't want to leave my job right now to go to a new job because I won't have any accrued annual leave. I'd hate to do that and get stood down, then I won't have any pay, I've got nothing to back me up, etc., etc. So it's going on from both ends, and what this means is that the business owner is doing too much. They're not training their existing team. They're so focused on operations that they're just getting by. And of course, if we're not training our team, if they're not improving, they're not motivated, they're not driving, they're not got the new skill set that we need in these changing times. So here's 4 tips to confidently manage your sales now, even with what's going on. And I'm going to give you a specific one for sales management, which is going to fix this at the end as well. So the first thing in any of your training, whether it's internal training and you've got someone yourself, an owner, or someone in your team going to train the rest of your team, or if it's what we do, come in externally and train your team, these tips are valid for all of them. The first one is to make sure the senior person, whether that's the owner or the senior manager, is involved in the training. Too often we see training going on and the person that's going to be implementing that training, the owner or the manager, is not involved. They might organize it, or they might be at the back of the room on their computer, whatever the case might be. And then what happens is, as the team try and implement these new skills, the manager doesn't know what they're talking about and they can't help them implement it. And of course, implementation is everything because that's the only way you're going to get the maximum value from the training. So make sure, and in fact, when we train, we make sure that we say, listen, whoever's going to be the implementer within this business must be in the training and must be fully involved in the training. So point number 1, tip number 1, is to make sure the owner or the senior manager that's going to be implementing the training is doing the training, is in there, unless they're taking the training, of course, but if they're a participant, that they're fully involved, not distracted, they have the same expectations as all of your staff for participating in the training. Tip number 2 is to make sure during the training or after the training, straight away, that there are some actions and time frames for implementation of the things that have been taught and the things that have been learnt. Implementation is everything. So we need to make sure that after that, we help the team set action plans and time frames to implement. So you need to make sure you're doing that yourself. How many times have we been to a seminar or a personal development event or whatever the case might be, and we get out and we're pumped until we get into the car, and then 2 days later we haven't implemented anything, we've forgotten everything we've learned. So to make sure that we're setting some time frames and some guidelines and some action points that need to be implemented by certain days, short periods of time, to get that momentum with that implementation. Part 3, tip number 3, is following the training, have your team members reteach some of that training in your team meetings. Let's say you have a weekly or fortnightly meeting. Take 15 or 20 minutes of that and have one of your team members, let them know in advance, they can prepare, teach a small part, just a small part of what you've learned. All right, today I'm going to teach you about this. Now, the reason for that is twofold. It has some accountability where if all of your staff know at some time over the next couple of months they're going to be asked to present on something, then they're going to take it in more, they're going to use it more, they're going to be listening better, and because they know they've got to teach it to someone else. And the second part is that when they teach it to someone else, they actually learn it 5 times faster than just listening to it. So making sure that you're putting in your plan going forward, what part of that training are they going to teach to the rest of their team? And the fourth part is have all-in-one training. Again, whether that's your internal training or having external trainers like us come and train your team, make sure that the person that is running the training, if it's owner or manager or sales manager, is also the person that's going to be keeping your team accountable for the implementation. Whether that's running meetings, whether that's setting targets, whether that's accountability, reward and recognition, overviewing your spreadsheets, giving feedback. Whoever's running the training should be the one that's keeping your team accountable for the implementation and the conversion and whatever outcomes and key performance indicators you have in there. If it's an external person like us coming and doing the training, then we've got a fix for that as well. Certainly it works really well when the person that's going to be doing the implementation is in the training fully involved, and this also takes the risk out of your recruitment of a sales manager, is to have us do all in one. To do this, the training, the sales and leadership and communication training, and be the one that manages your sales team with the implementation, their weekly actions, run the meetings, etc. And we actually have a virtual sales manager system that does that for you. And we've had some of our clients currently that even over the last year or two have been trying to do it all themselves. And now that they've taken us on as their virtual sales manager, we're doing the training and doing the implementation and leading their sales teams with meetings and updates on training and accountability and productivity. Then they've got some more freedom as an owner or senior manager, and the sales results are growing significantly even in this time. So virtual sales manager is a great way for that to take place. As I said, where we do the training and we do the implementation and manage your team. It saves you recruiting a sales manager, so it takes that nervousness and that stress out. So there's 4 tips to make the most of your sales management right now. It used to be, if we do the same things, we'll get the same results. Now it's if we do the same things, we go backwards really quickly. So we must, and you must, train your team somehow. Virtual sales manager could be one of those parts. By the way, if you want to have a quick review of your business, we've got a 33-point scorecard for your business, which is going to give you a bit of an understanding of where your strengths are and where your challenges are. So I'm going to put that in the link. Feel free to do a quick 33-point sales checklist and business checklist as well, so that you understand where your business sits right now leading into the start of 2022 and how you're going to maximize that, the areas of focus. You guys have a great Tuesday. We'll chat soon. Bye.